Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters, the key to opening a retail store. Now, contrary to popular belief, retail is still popular. Now, I know people hear about the retail apocalypse and they hear about online and everything, but it depends on what you're selling. Depends on several other factors. Two main factors: location, and product. Because you have like this retail apocalypse. There's always some stories, some videos, some news story about these different big stores closing. These different big stores closing and everything. Okay, and they are. People still want the product. And it's not always they want to get it online, because let me give a little secret about online stuff. A lot of stuff gets returned. In fact, you got return centers and everything. You can get a product, and especially clothing, it just don't fit right. Because a large in one brand is not the same as a large in another brand. So you do need to try clothes on. You need to try those shoes on. So there's some little stuff you can definitely get online, but people still want to go out and try it on. They want to kick the tires, so to speak. And that's an important thing to understand, an important thing to remember. So, there's still spaces for retail stores. Indeed, you do have some stores that are still opening. Now, the bigger stores are going out of business, but one thing about the bigger stores, I'll say, a lot of times they carry in one store brand products, which you don't want to wear anyway. If you really look at a lot of these major stores, they carry in store brand products or specific stuff. And a lot of times they might just not have what you're looking for. Like say that you're a sneakerhead. You want those stylish sneakers. You got a whole subculture behind it and everything. They might not be in the major stores. Or streetwear. They might not be in the major stores, or certain natural soaps and everything. You can still open something, especially you got something specific, because I know there are a couple places I'll hit just for their soaps. I hadn't talked about it in a while, but that shea butter and everything. In fact, there was a place in my, it was at a local flea market that sold shea butter. They're not there anymore. I was like, well, they did have another location. Maybe they're just doing better there. Whatever the case. But if the keys to opening a retail store, I'm going to say the keys. If I say key in the title, forgive me. But location, first of all, where is it? Because I don't care what you do, you need a good location. You need a place that's going to have some traffic. You opening a brick and mortar store, you got to have it with traffic. I knew that since I was young. Because you got to have it. Because I remember my uncle and aunt, they opened, they bought a little place over in Maryland, just right outside the D.C. border. They bought this little small business. It was like one of those takeout joints, right? But they ain't staying there long. And I knew as a 10-year-old, I was like, this ain't getting a lot of traffic. This is a bad location. I knew that as a 10-year-old, right? But it was just a bad location. Plus, they found out later the people were selling, running numbers out of there too. So that's how they were really making money. It's like, oh God. But you gotta have a good location, and then you gotta have a product for them to have. And then you might have something unique. Like I know in my area, they got a couple skateboard places. You don't really be finding skateboard stuff in like these large, big retail stores that are going out of business. They complaining about. It could be comic books. My local comic book store stays busy. It stays busy because they actually expanded. They expanded right next door, so they got extra space. and they got like toys and a lot of stuff they couldn't carry before. It stays crowded. Look, it depends. When you open in a retail store, you gotta think, okay, what's a good location for it? In fact, there's a men's store that's, it's not even on the main street near me. It's kind of to the side, but they've been in business for a few years. But they were still in a good location. And plus, remember what I talked about last time, they market like crazy because I follow them on IG. They market, I've been in there a few times and everything. But they also had a product for men. There's not a lot of men's stores out there. So you want to think about, okay, where am I located? What kind of traffic is it getting? Like before you put money down on a retail spot, look at where it's at. If it's at a place you don't see people walking up and down that street, don't do it unless you got something extremely rare and unless you really got a great marketing campaign to get people over there. But you want to have someplace, a good location, and then you want to have a product. You want to have a product that's going to make people come to that location. You know, you want to have something like that. Like I said, I'll use a street near me, Main Street in downtown Bel Air, Maryland. They got a lot of like stores there that really don't have what you're going to find anyplace else. You know, comic book store, men's store, consignment store, a new age store, everything. And it's just like, and plus they're in a place where there's plenty of traffic, plenty of restaurants and cafes along there. So it's like, okay, see, you know, you hear all this talk about a retail apocalypse, right? And there is for the bigger stores, but people still need the stuff. They just not buying it from the stores. That's why location and product is most important. If you got something that people still want to buy no matter what, you good to go. You just have to have some place for them to buy, because despite even the online thing, people, I mean, there's still some stuff you can get online. There's you know, in fact, if you're smart, you'll have an online presence as well as a retail store, as well as a brick and mortar. But here's the thing about a lot of stuff, clothing especially, you just want to look at it. You want to try it on. You want to kick the tire. You want to try on those shoes, those clothing. You know, sometimes you don't want to take a chance trying to order that product, especially since you got porch prize. You might be near somebody. They can say, hold up, let me drive. Because many people still get something out of just going to the stores, you know? Because even when they're talking about like malls dying and all of that, that's because you got some lousy stores. That's it. That is it. So if you're thinking about opening a retail store, first scout locations. Say, okay, just sit around, walk it, whether it's in a mall, whether it's on a certain street, just walk it at different times. See who's there, see what restaurants are there, see what else is around there that's drawing people's attention. You know, and then you want to, you know, ask yourself, okay, product, okay, what kind of product I have? And then thinking about the marketing, how you gonna market all that? Even when you there, you just gonna sit there, people in that, or you gonna draw some people in? And see, I ain't used the term radiation for a while, but a lot of times if people walking by a store, whether it's in a mall or whether it's on the street, if they see people in there, there's like, oh, let's see what they got. Boom, boom. So you really want to think about those things, especially the location and what you're selling. And then, of course, get into the marketing. But I'll just say from this point forward, I always assume no matter what business you get into, you have to market it, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.